Back in the 80s, the grid design with geometric shapes was a popular motif. We wanted to duplicate this look in our 80s basement bar, so we created this grid wall. Here's how we did it. Today I'm going to be working on this wall, which is very white and very boring, but we are going to create an 80s style grid wall mural, and I'm going to show you how to do it. So we'll be using a plumb line to make our straight vertical lines. Now don't worry, if you don't have a professional plumb line, I don't have one either. All you gotta do is raid your husband's fishing tackle, and inside you wanna look for something that looks like this. So these are actually fishing weights, but this will be perfect. We're just gonna attach some string right here. Let's see if he has any string in here. Ah, here we go. All right, we're all set. So the way this works is when it hangs still, once it stops moving around, it's gonna make a perfectly straight vertical line. We can use this to mark the wall and make sure our lines are straight. Thank you, gravity. For this project, we're using frog tape. You can certainly use other kinds, but this is the one I recommend, and it is my favorite. This is the frog tape multi-surface, and it looks like this. It comes in different sizes, but I found that it works really well. But stay to the end of this video, because I do have a secret trick that will give you the sharpest lines ever. Wait until you see. So as you can see, I've made some progress. We used the plumb line like I showed you to draw little dots down the wall at the exact line where we wanted to start. It's always a good idea to start in the middle whenever you're doing a project like this, just to make sure that you work off of the middle. It's just gonna make it more accurate. Move your plumb line down to make sure you're staying on track. And then I've just been using a ruler to measure, and you can do this as wide as you want, but we're doing ours 5 inches apart with a 1/2 inch line. So you can see these lines, this is where we're painting, okay? Just this little line. And then we measure across 5 inches, and I've got these little dots where my measurements are. So now when I do my tape, I just need to make sure that I stay in line with the little dots that I've drawn. Okay, so as you can see, we've gotten all of the tape done for the vertical lines, and now it currently just looks like some really ugly wallpaper, maybe like 70s stripe. But the next step is really important, and this is my super secret tip for how to get the cleanest lines ever. Are you ready? So we're actually gonna paint white. Paint the stripes white, or whatever your base color is. Because what you're gonna do is you're gonna paint it white. That's gonna seal the tape line. And the white, if it seeps underneath, it won't matter because it's white. Once that dries, then we'll go back over it with our top coat, which is going to be black. But of course you could use other colors if you want. But if you want that 80s look, you wanna go black and white. So the next step is to go over our lines with white paint, just a light coat. Okay, you guys, it's the next day, and as you can see, the white paint is totally dry. I recommend allowing this paint to dry at least 4 hours, but I went ahead and did it overnight since it was getting late and I was getting tired. So now the real fun begins, because so far we haven't really done anything transformational. All we've done is put paint, and we put an undercoat of white. I call this the sealing coat, the seal coat, because it's sealing off that edge of your tape. It's super important. Do not skip this step. And the next step, and here comes the fun part / scary part, we're ready to add our black paint. Now I just bought a quart of this because we're really not using very much. And I used almost a full gallon on these 2 walls of the white paint. We're only putting the design on this wall. This one's just gonna stay plain because we have a piece of furniture that goes there, and this is an awful lot of work. So we're just gonna do the one wall. We don't wanna overwhelm people's eyes when they come into the room because this is a bold pattern. After we finish doing the black, then we'll have to do this whole process again with the horizontal lines, and we won't be able to use gravity. We won't be able to use our plumb line, but that's okay. We got this. All right, so here comes the scary part. I'm getting out the black paint. Let's do this. We're using Dutch Boy Forever paint, and I am not sponsored by them in any way. I just really like this paint. It comes from Menards, at least that's where I buy it. And the color that we'll be using is called True Black. Let's take a look. So satisfying, you guys. I love this. Pulling paint tape is one of my most favorite things. Okay, it is the next day, and as I'm sure you've deduced, this is a multi-day project, so it definitely requires some patience. But as you can see, we have now done the same process, but horizontally. So these lines are all finished, they look amazing, but now we gotta do the same thing over again. So same process of the horizontal. Unfortunately, we can't use our plumb line. We can't rely on gravity. We're gonna have to just do lots of measuring when you put your tape, and be sure and use a level to make sure each line is level. If it gets off, the whole thing will be off. So you gotta check each and every measurement. It is definitely a process, but you can do it. Okay, so I'm still doing the method where I'm sealing off that edge, but this time I'm painting right up to this part, and I'm not gonna go over the black part in the middle because that part's getting painted over black. So we don't wanna mess that up. So just go up to the edge of the black piece. It's gonna take a little longer, but this step is super important because that's how you get that clean line with no bleeding from underneath. So I still have to do all of these. Whoop. I'm just getting started with that. It's a process. It's finished, and I love the result. I absolutely love the way this looks. It looks like wallpaper, which is crazy to me. The lines came out exactly how I wanted, and if you follow my tips for how to use that tape and get the clean line, it'll be perfect every time. Hey, don't forget to check out our other channel, Our 80s Life, where we will show you our complete 80s bar remodel. This is just part of that, but I definitely wanted to show you how to do it, and I think it turned out awesome. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.